Hello and greetings once again. This is Pastor Seafried, and I'm here in my living room here in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and I'm bringing you my weekly podcast. And the big news story, of course, of the last actually 2 weeks now has been the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And actually, I spoke on this in my last podcast a little bit, where I explained that the world's great dictators down through history, men that had the greatest political power, world emperors, all met an ignominious end. And I'm sure that that's going to be the case with Putin of Russia. Russia's brutal attacks on the Ukraine are now in their 9th day, and they seem to be getting worse and worse every day. We've all seen the pictures on the newscasts on television, scenes of destroyed buildings where innocent people live. Residential areas are being attacked, not just military targets, which is the normal course of warfare, but Putin is just unbelievably indiscriminate in his bombings of residential areas. I mean, that's the definition of a terrorist, actually. Somebody that's killing innocent people. And it goes beyond all the norms of regular warfare down through the centuries. And so this whole war there in Ukraine is just unbelievable. We've seen women and children trying desperately to flee to Poland, and the long lines of vehicles lined up to try to get innocent people out of the main cities of Ukraine. We've seen people being interviewed that were begging for help before their family is ruthlessly slaughtered. I mean, our hearts just go out to those poor people. I mean, you can't help but watch the scenes that are unfolding there in the war in Ukraine and not be touched in your heart. It's just terrible. I don't think in my lifetime I've ever seen anything like this. They say that it brings back memories of World War II and Adolf Hitler and his march on Czechoslovakia and Hungary and Poland, and just how much of a madman he was. And I think we're discovering that this is the same with Putin. Well, you say, what's this got to do with the Bible? I don't want to just rehash world news. You can get that on TV. What I really want to do is try to minister to you, and from the perspective of some Bible principles that you can apply in times like these. First of all, first Bible principle: sin is real and evil exists. I wish it didn't, but it does. Ever since the fall of Adam in the Garden of Eden, evil entered the human race. Jeremiah said it so well: the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. I think if there's any one person on earth right now that phrase, desperately wicked, applies to, it would be Vladimir Putin. To me, he's the personification of evil. Now, I know there's lots of evil in the world and of all types, but none so great as the killing of thousands upon thousands of innocent people. Secondly, I want you to know that deceitfulness and lying is still alive and well on planet Earth. I believe Putin is the world's biggest liar. I really do. He actually called his invasion, his army's invasion into Ukraine, as a peacekeeping force. Can you believe that? Who in their right mind, watching what's going on in Ukraine, could possibly say that Russia is there as a peacekeeping force? I mean, this guy is just, he's just deceived himself. A third, he proves the theological truth that there is a hell and that it is a place where people go who deserve to go. My wife asked me the other day, is there going to be more of a punishment in hell for Putin than for the average unsaved person? And the answer is a resounding yes. There are several places in the Bible that teach what we call in theology degrees of punishment. And by the way, when you look at the great white throne judgment there in Revelation chapter 20, you'll notice that the unsaved people, when they stand before God, are judged two ways. First, if their name isn't written in the book of life, that means they were never saved, then they're cast into the lake of fire. But it also says, and the dead were judged out of the books, plural, not just the book singular, the book of life, but they're also judged out of the books, which I believe is a record of all of their sins and all of their evil. And if that be the case, then those that have done the worst atrocities down through the years of human history are deserving of and indeed will receive greater punishment. Fourth, I believe that in Proverbs it says, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. And I believe that's going to be the case with Putin. I believe his pride will be his undoing. And I don't know how long that will take. I'm certainly not going to prophesy here, but I really think his pride will be his undoing. And then there's a fifth point I want to say about Putin. It's that his day of reckoning will surely come. Galatians 6:7, the Apostle Paul says, "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that shall he reap." Now, I just am here to say that that verse really applies to Vladimir Putin. His day of reaping what he has sown will surely come. So what can we do as Christians? Well, we can, as I said last week, we can pray for the poor people of Ukraine. Do you realize there's more evangelical churches in the Ukraine per capita of total population than any other nation on earth, including the United States? I mean, there's more evangelical Christians and churches in the Ukraine, percentage, and this is on a percentage basis, than any other nation. And boy, do we need to pray then. We're talking about praying not just for people, but for Christians in that country. And secondly, I just want to say that we as Christians need to just trust the Lord that God will soon be a God of judgment. God will settle the score. He keeps accurate records. And so my hope and my prayer is that that day of reckoning will indeed come shortly. Well, may the Lord richly bless you and minister to you, and I just hope that you truly will commit all of these things to the Lord in prayer. Boy, if there's ever a time we need to pray for our world and for the people of Ukraine, it is now. Well, the Lord bless you. Have just a great day.